name is Manan Ahuja and I'm a grade 11 student. And why I am making this video is because of a phenomena that has surprised, startled, and interested us all over the country and especially here at the national capital. The farmers' protest at Singhu border or any border surrounding Delhi. This was the first time we've seen such a large gathering of farmers gathered at the doorstep of the capital, fighting for what they believe is their right against what they believe are tyrannical laws. I have been reading about it, like many of you, in newspapers, through social media outlets, or any other person who wants to give me information. But does that represent an accurate picture? It hardly does. We all have our personal opinions and bias, and it is unfair to judge them and their calls on the basis of these partial videos. So I traveled to Singhu border, which is the nearest border to me where these farmers were camped protesting. And I went and did some field work. I interviewed the farmers, I talked to them, to their wives, to their children, to their leaders, to find out what is their purpose and what is the reason for which they have been sitting here for the past 50 days. Manan Ahuja. I am a grade 11 student. I will begin to ask you this question. What exactly are the farm bills?
There are three, and they are no more bills because they have been passed by Parliament. So now they are acts and laws. Right. Now, these three acts, one is regarding abolition of the MSP. If you remove MSP, then what happens is that the private procurer knows that I can go and just tell the cultivationist that I'm going to give you 500 rupees per quintal, take it or leave it, which is what has happened year after year on several crops across the country. Keeps happening all the time, right? We can fairly say that MSP, without MSP, is a far worse situation for farmers than with MSP. So that is the first. It's an amendment act. Second is also an amendment act. It promises to allow farmers to engage in contract farming. A private company, whatever it might be, comes in, tells you that over your 50 acres in the next season, grow mushrooms for me. I'm going to provide you with the seed. I'm going to provide you with the technology, the know-how. I'm going to also provide you with some of the, let's say, fertilizer, etc., that is required. In return, I will demand from you that your produce must meet a certain standard, and I'm going to buy it back from you at XYZ rates. The third act is about abolition of the Essential Commodities Act. The MSP regime and particularly the Essential Services Commodities Act are meant for India's food security. And if we remove that, we are basically bringing back the age of the British colonial era.
ये जो रूल मोदी गवर्नमेंट ने इम्प्लीमेंट करे हैं वो इसलिए हैं कि जो किसान है उसको उसका एक्चुअल प्राइस मिले। तो ये अगर मोदी ये रूल इम्प्लीमेंट, जो मोदी गवर्नमेंट जो ये रूल इम्प्लीमेंट कर रही है, उससे क्या होगा, जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर भी जो काम कर रही है उनके लैंड के ऊपर, उनको भी अच्छा पैसा मिलेगा।
आपकी लड़ाई किससे है?
ਜਗਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ USA ਵਿਰਕ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿਰਕ ਜ਼ਿਲ੍ਹਾ ਜਲੰਧਰ ਤੋਂ 6000 ਰੁਪਇਆ ਜੈ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਰਾਣਾ।
ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਹਾਂ।
ਇਕੱਲੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਆਪ ਲੋਕ ਆਏ?
ਸਾਡੇ ਪਿੰਡੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ 200-300 ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈ।
ਸਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੁਕੇ ਨੇ ਸਰ?
ਰੋਈ ਪਿੰਡ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ 5-6 ਮੀਲ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਭਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ? ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਕੈਂਪ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਨ ਇੱਥੇ, ਖਾਣਾ ਲੰਗਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਫੋਨ ਦੀ ਸੁਵਿਧਾ ਹੈ,
ਕੋਈ
ਸਾਰਾ
ਕਿਸੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਸਮਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ।
ਫੁੱਲ ਫੈਸਿਲਿਟੀ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ? ਕੋਈ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ?
ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਜੀ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਮਰੇ ਮਿਲੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖੇ ਹੋਣੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੰਗਰ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿੰਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਿਹਰ ਕਰੇਗਾ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Manan, I will say farmer doesn't have any religion. As a Sikh, I will say farmer is a farmer. We should not say that they are Sikh or whether we should not divide them. I will say this is where the cause of concern lies. Where whenever the protest happens, only and the front face is being targeted. What I feel like you're seeing, there are many people. There are not only Sikhs there, but many. Like I will say that it's a concern of the entire nation and the economy. It's not it's not about Sikh or Hindu or Muslim. It's for the entire nation. And right now, if you see, there are people, the farmers from Rajasthan, from Maharashtra, from Gujarat, everywhere there are protests going on. So it's not a one religion. I will say it's a farmer protest, not a religion protest or Sikh protest. It's a farmer protest.
ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਰਦਾਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟ ਹੈ, ਇਧਰ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਨਾਮ ਇਹ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਨੇ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏਗਾ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਮਸਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਹਿੰਦੂ, ਮੁਸਲਿਮ, ਸਿੱਖ, ਈਸਾਈ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ।
There are a lot of people who are supporting farmers, family members who are supporting farmers with financial side of it. People have sent money through various organizations, and so their life is easier where they are at the moment, so they can get all the things they need. I think it's working so far. We have clear indication of that.
ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਫੰਡਿੰਗਸ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਚਲਾ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। 550 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਲੰਗਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ 5,500 5.5 ਲੱਖ ਸਾਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਲੰਗਰ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣੇ। ਇਹਦੀ ਕੈਲਕੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹਦਾ ਆਡਿਟ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ।
As a person far away from your country, a British citizen, how do you connect with the Indian farmer who is sitting on the outskirts of Delhi today?
Well, I'm connected to the farming community because my father was a farmer. And it's difficult when you're sitting far away. You don't know everything. You only get certain news. We all feel very, very strongly about what is happening in India. We're getting it through the internet and other media organizations and some local channels here. We have 3 Indian channels directly. Their coverage is very one-sided, which is not correct for them. They're not doing their duty to the public. I mean, and they're also been accusations have been leveled at farmers to say they, these people are what they're really not.
Today, we live in the age of the internet. We have all information in the world just a click away. However, not everything that is available on the internet is to be believed, or on the television channels, or on any other conventional or non conventional media outlet. Because many groups from both sides of the argument have been trying to introduce their propaganda into these channels and sway the society to their side. One must meet representatives of both the sides, ask them, talk to them, and finally come to their own conclusion to what is the real picture.
I think so. The deadlock can be resolved by talking on, and these talks should be transparent. Yes. And constructive also, and on an open platform. They should call every group together and sit, and government should sit and talk. And talk is the only solution according to me. And right now, you and me can't comment on the exact solution. Yes. Because we are not aware of the developments taking place between both the parties, between the government and the farmers.
Well, I would say to the farmers, they have to stick with their convictions, because they have to get these laws repealed.
In my opinion, this is a very not black and white situation. There are both the sides have valuable arguments that need to be taken in consideration. One of the main arguments that the farmers are giving is that they will not receive MSP, that is minimum support price. However, the government has already assured them that no tampering would be done to the MSP system. So that's not a valuable argument here.
मैं फेवर में हूँ इन रूल्स के, मैं इन रूल्स के फेवर में हूँ. मैं कहता हूँ ये इम्प्लीमेंट होना चाहिए. बेटे ऐसे है कि जो 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 कंट्री के बेनिफिट के लिए चीजें हैं, अगर वो रूल्स गवर्नमेंट लागू वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करेगी तो कंट्री प्रोग्रेस कैसे करेगी?
ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਨਿਕਲੇਗਾ ਕੋਈ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਨਿਕਲੇਗਾ, ਜ਼ਰੂਰ
ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵਜੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏ,
ਜਿੰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏ, ਕਿਸਾਨ ਜਾਏਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਿਸਾਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਹੱਲ. ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਊਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ.
100% ਮਾਨਣਾ ਪੜੇਗਾ.
The passing itself in Parliament was well within the quote-unquote boundaries of parliamentary procedure, but barely so. Now, how it worked here is that this government has brute majority, so they first of all listed this bill for discussion on the day of the debate. Generally, it is listed a week ago, and then it was presented like 25 minutes before end of that day's session. So there was hardly any time for any debate. There was no debate, and they just passed it through a voice vote and immediately declared the session of for the day closed. All these acts also do something on the side, which is Indian Constitution guarantees agriculture to be a state subject, but by bypassing the state and instituting these laws, they essentially remove the role of individual states in agriculture and make it into a central subject.
So after a comprehensive expedition in which I talked to farmers at the ground zero, to experts who have the know-how, and even people from my own city, Delhi, who have been affected by this siege that has been ongoing for the past 50 days, I have come to understand that there is no black or white. There is no one right or wrong in this situation. Everyone has valid points. If you look at it from the government side, it is a big effort to improve the agriculture sector, draw them out of the public sector and make them independent, something this country has failed to do for the past several decades since independence. But once we see the farmers' argument that they are still poor and they are not in a capacity to fight in the private sector without any support from the government, their arguments to secure an MSP, a guarantee, are valid. So I feel both sides need to come together in a transparent and open platform, as rightly said by someone, and resolve their differences to come to a comprehensive solution that combines best of both the worlds. The farmer must be allowed to approach to higher sales in the private sector, and at the same time must be given a guarantee from the government, from the state, who represents the people that the farmer is feeding, for the effort he does on the farm and for the risks he takes in the agriculture sector. So, what is your take? What do you think about this protest? Do you stand with the farmer, or do you stand with the government? Or do you also believe in a single solution which is comprehensive and combines the viewpoints of both of them? My final question is about these laws and their validity. No matter how constitutional they may be, no matter how important they may be for the economy and what prosperity they may promise, the people for whom these laws have been constituted are not happy with them. And in a democracy, the most important question we ask ourselves is the government legitimate? Are the laws legitimate by the people? Hence, the government should, in my opinion, spend more time looking at why the farmers are protesting these laws in the first place, rather than focusing on irrelevant details about how, what next, etc.
ऐ मेरी ज़मीं अफसोस नहीं जो तेरे लिए 100 दर्द सहे महफूज रहे तेरी आन सदा चाहे जान मेरी ये रहे ना रहे मेरी ज़मीं महबूब मेरी नस नस में तेरा इश्क बहे फीका ना पड़े कभी रंग तेरा जिस्मों से निकल के खून कहे तेरी मिट्टी में मिल जावा गुल बन के मैं खिल जावा इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू तेरी नदियों में बह जावा तेरे खेतों में लहरावा इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू